Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another relaxing episode of our relaxing survival series. That's right, I've managed to find the inner peace between now and the last few weeks, because it's been a little rough, but I think we've kind of recovered nicely. We're at the crash site on the hill, looking at our lovely little bobs just sitting over here, and trying to muse out a way to pick them up and get them to somewhere a bit more usable. Maybe on this rover, maybe on something new. We certainly have some options to play with tonight. There's always options in this game, aren't there? That's what makes it so wonderful. It's so nice to start on a relaxing note for once. Alright, so back to where we left off last week. Hello, everyone. I hope you guys have been having a good day so far. We have some bobs up here we gotta move around, and I'm trying to figure out what to do with them. I was originally planning to try to get them on the side of the craft there, but the more I'm looking at this, the more I'm thinking I probably just need to find a way to get these just moved, period. And with most of the drone part, or well, the flying drone, now down and inside, it's not working out too well. Especially the more I dig in here, the harder it's going to be to get this little guy out. So, options. I mean, really, the only realistic thing is going to be something that I have, would be 100% honest. Actually, I might, do I want to rotor it? No, that's not rotor it. I don't think I've ever really, truly, in all 2,000 plus hours playing the game, have built a genuine piston crane. I've kind of come close, but not overly close. Let's see. I mean, considering actually, you could say that the elevator down there is pretty darn close to an actual crane. I mean, it is pulling things up and down. And let's give myself a little bit of flexibility here. So I don't have to be right next to it. And then the other thing I want to do, I'm thinking about it, is all cranes have counterweight. Very big, heavy counterweight. And there's not much more heavier than a couple of azimuth batteries. Actually, that's probably not a good spot to put them. They'll rub against the whatchamacallit. Tell you what, stick those. This is how you make the crane ridiculously overcomplicated in one easy step. So as we push that piston out to get that arm in position, we will shove this one out. At the same time, having the flexibility of a rotor, and yet another complicated piston, because why not? And you want to let me build? There you go. Now let's just put the gear on that. In the other direction, though, that'd be a bit more useful. Come on. Yeah, I'm a little. There you go. I am doing good, Lee. It has been a long, fun week, and hopefully you guys have had a fun week as well. But just over here in the US, we are heading towards holiday weekend, so there is always that to look forward to. At the very least, a chance to sleep in. Let's see. Do you have? You know what? Right off the bat, let's fix something here. Close grid. Second. Third. Fourth. Now I know what I'm looking at. Kind of. Thank you, game, for blending two of those piston together into my own two signals. That's incredibly unhelpful. That's better. So we've got A. So D and C need to go together. So we can group that as our upper arm. All this lateral. Pistons. And then A and B are going to operate independently. So let's see what we can do here. What's the worst that can happen? Now, theoretically, I should see... Perfect, my counterweight stays right where I want it to be. How often does that actually ever work out? Rotor, I want you off. You have no braking force, so you're going to swing around with gravity. That's fine. Our next pistone to play with is going to be B. That one I'm actually going to also put a toggle off on. I'm way too far back then, huh? Let's see. Collapse that. Go. Perfect. Okay. It's just absolutely ridiculous swinging around like that. Hang on. Let me get a toggle on that here. Toggle block on off, because then that will lock it. I want to toggle on our laterals as well now that I'm thinking about it. We're going to make this complicated to work with already. How hard can it be? We're going to make this very hard. Let's see. So we want... the gear should auto lock. Perfect. Oh crap, not so perfect. Okay. I should have realized that was going to happen. Ow. That hurt in multiple areas. Including the entire O2 generator. Alright, let's see what we can do here. Tried to stop as soon as I saw the wheels starting to come up, and no such luck. So, let's throw piston A into reverse. Good. And amusing... Actually, I got saved by the fact... Oh. That just cost me 2 bobs, didn't it? Yep. Darn it. They're empty, but... the piston arms grabbed on, so let's reverse piston B. That's the on-off for you. On. Can I roll it if I release it? Let's see. Switch lock and auto lock on off, so I have a panic bar. Come on, reset my view, game. Hello? Cockpit view reset. Thank you. Oh, you're... Okay, there you are. Eventually it'll figure itself out. Alright, piston D then, I guess. Control for that. It's just one of those little happy little accidents, that's all. Let's see. What to do with you? You're pointing that direction. Something I should do. If I completely lose that solar panel. And the thing in the back. Ooh, almost lost a survival kit there. I really wish I could go through an instant replay of that one, because I would love see what happened to those bobs if I managed to fling them off into orbit. Alright, let's see here. Stone is... Voila, number 2. Go ahead. No, not from there, huh? Alright, let's see what we can do with that piston. Order. Nope, other direction. Get some braking torque so it doesn't fall back down. Off. So if I want to do that, I need to build one more block out. Or somehow just get out of the vehicle and push into it a little bit, and I would love to take credit for that, but all I did was fly into it a little bit. Don't know how you did that game, but you did. Not complaining, just an observation. Alright, let's get these pistons back together. Hot Mullen. Except for D. Should be reversed. Or not. Are you not working? There it is. That's that one. This might actually be a better way to do it. Piston B. If you wouldn't mind. Here you go. Find that rotor. Swing your partner around and around. I know how to get the other 3. They died. Alright. We'll live. We'll just have to manage to get out there at some point. Technically, I think that should be a recovery option, honestly, because that was not through any fault of my own. Well, I mean that really pulling up a grid into a wheel like that should not cause the grid to suddenly develop turn into a perpetual motion machine. Let's be honest here. That kind of screams game bug to me, but let's see some grids for that. I think everything else came out pretty much intact. I mean, it's a tough little rover. Gyro's there. Yeah. Couple grids, some girders, and a solar panel should be good as new. We got that stuff over here. Not only that, but technically, I mean, Clang took the grid, and then Clang saved the grid, because there is no way you can convince me that that makes any sense how that grid recovered itself. Let's be honest here. That was not looking like it was going to shape up to a nice, simple, simple rollover operation. Somehow it did. The grid came back the very next day. The grid came back. They thought it was a goner. But the grid came back the very next day. And really, not having the solar panel's not that big of a deal. It's nice as an extra power source, but we have the reactor at least. Also lost my counterbalances. It was okay, they were just filler. Oh no, some steel plate. However, will I survive? Alright. Take 2. Oh, hang on. Yeah, I think, yeah. Okay. I did have, yeah, they definitely popped out. On the upside, at least the stuff that was in them survived. Alright, so I gotta get down there and at least get those three, and then I got that one between the rocks. That'll be an interesting challenge. This should be easier to snatch at this point if I don't bottom out the rover. Or worse, tip it. You're good. Now I've bottomed out. Oh, the train up here is no good. Come here. Just a little bit here, a little bit there. It'll be good. And nowhere near enough pistons to make that distance. Gotta get closer. Oh, quit sparking back there. You're fine. Actually, you're more than fine. That's perfect. I don't even have the parking brake on, technically. Let's see. Which one's which? It's off on. Nope, we don't want to extend that. Okay. That needs to be a different angle. Oh, come on. Really? I'm that short. Show the bounce. Nope. Come on. Come on, wiggle. Wiggle for the lock. All right, I've got auto lock off. That would help. Come on. Bounce. Bounce. Come on. Lock. Yeah. They're hard to get. Aha. Now, I know that is not going to work for a direction to grab that. Let's swip that rotor around, please. Before I try to draw it back. There we go. Good enough. Yeah, not good enough. Come on. Unground yourself. I need that braking force isn't enough. Let's get you more on that. There we go. Let's just do a little bit of adjustment of our center of gravity, huh? Ah. All right, let's get you out of here. Let's see. And to the right and over. Oh, yeah. Perfect. Just enough room to swing it over. Let's bring it down a little more. Just because that arm is canted at a bit of an upward angle. Ah, she's back at base. Now, let's do a flipperoo. Remove that sucker. And just reverse on that. Over so we can get to it. Want to lock on the gears off. Bada bing, bada boom, dropped off. That was working incredibly well, all things considered. High on the gravity side, so I can certainly do something about that, but add it down here. It's incredibly handy. All right, let's get this solar panel fixed back up, since in not having that available. Solar. Need a couple more of those. Yeah, got plenty of materials for those. Don't you know we've got 1,000,001 pieces of stone sitting down underground? All right, so I need to, if anything, simplify. Sliding counterweight is a nice idea, but we can do a bit better than that. Just leave it chopped on. There. Now it's a bit further down, better in line with the center of gravity on the vehicle. And it's still hideously back heavy, or front heavy right now, but we'll live. So that got that one in. Let's see if we can get the other one. Well, here goes that battery. It's gonna get that one up front, isn't it? Need to get another set of wheels on this thing, really. Just something a bit further out back, but too worried about it. Swing that arm around to the front. Try to get within relative striking distance. That's gonna be a tough grab, isn't it? Steam Lance, what we're up today is getting the last Bob out of here, having just destroyed 2 more of them in the effort. So, kind of need this one to come willingly. And should just about do it, right? Be short. Painfully short. How close am I? Can I interest you in some extra superluminary blocks you might be able to grab onto if I give her a little bit of a rock? More of a kick on the rotor. Come on, Gyro, give me a wiggle. Hang on. Oh. Rocking her that way is not going to work. Now I've really wedged her. Alright, so hashtag one more block. There we go. In doubt, add another block. All right. try to rotate you up and around without blowing everything up. Ah, I could not have planned that removal any better. Even if I'd planned it. Let's see. Rotor. A little more. Off. Alright, that's everything from the crash site has been recovered now. Actually, maneuver's better without that battery in the back now. Now, let's be 100% honest. That is upgrading. Need a nice divot in front of there when I knocked out that battery. That is a bit of a tour de force for space engineers because, honestly, 2 years ago, I would not have even been willing to try this. Just because it would have been a clangpocalyptic nightmare. Round. Extend the arm. Stand by on road reverse and drop. Delivered. And retracted. That just worked unbelievably well. Whew. Granted, it only just gets the bobs here. It doesn't actually do the job of mounting them, but I'm kind of, I'm kind of thinking about keeping this around more as a utility vehicle, almost. If I get a little bit of a... Maybe bring the wheels up a little bit, or wrap something of a cockpit around it, or wrap some armor around the cockpit, and kind of set it so it can't tip forward as much, that would kind of work pretty good. Alright, so we have all of that many bobs left. And at least one of these is going to have to be sacrificed to become a miner on the go, because my bill at this point is stuck downstairs. And, well, after everything I went through to get Bob drone down this shaft with the elevator, I don't think I'm going to be expecting to get it back out of there without ripping everything apart. So we need ourselves a bit of a mining craft. I'd originally planned that for what this was going to be doing, but not enough. It's bouncy. It worked for as long as I needed it, but at this point, we're going to put him on standby. And then the other guy over here is not exactly great for what he's doing either. So, good news is I've got a fleet of nice spare vehicles, but bad news is I don't really have anything that's going to be well specialized for the role it needs. Fire that off so we save a bit of power. Oh yeah, and also, I really don't need these pistons on the HUD. So I guess what we've got here is... I don't really need to build anything around this at the moment. Kind of thinking this could form the core of a little bit of an exploration rover to take the place of that guy. And we got this guy over here who we could kind of tear apart and form into the bill for a new build. So let's figure that out. That's the case. Really? Why is that block selected? No. I don't remember selecting that Space Engineers. The mouse wheel lied when it told you to switch to that. Let's see if we can pull this off. I want you to... That. Goes one forward. Actually, let's keep you from tipping completely. Need to get a power source on this thing, and then I also need to lift it up off the ground so I can actually build off of it, because it is kind of a unsaid thing with the whole Bob challenge is I want to try to keep these grids kind of, you have to build off of it basically to build it up if you're building something new. Unspoken challenges, so many of them. Nope, I want stone is. Stone moi, say here. Let's see. You should hold up. Oh, I've got a reactor sitting right here that we can use. Especially with that grid offline at the moment. Will give us power, and let's make sure I don't do the ultimate thing that would cause this to have problems, which would be not sticking that on it. All right, place you there. I need a large. Okay, I guess I was short a large steel tube somehow over there, even though the reactor was completely intact. Okay. All right. So the idea is this grid should some assurances on the part of clean physics here. Okay, you should be able to do this if you don't tip forward. That's the part I'm not sure of. Holy crap. Something actually worked on the first shot. And it's not leaning his back against the wall as I expected. Alright, so that gets the core of that platform up and going. What I'm thinking of is this is going to be... The bob around here has to be transformed into a bill, so that's where the drill placement's going to be. Which means that ultimately I need to... Where's my access ports? Is it traditional small grid drill? So I need to have connector ports coming off the left and right, which I can't do with the pistons there at the moment, but I can connect those up easily. And I need a little bit more color on this planet, and let's face it, I need... It's been a long time since we have seen the Pharaoh Blue. Let's give it that. It's gonna be tricky to do this. I don't want to put a gear down necessarily just yet, but I think that's going to depend on how far that grid's going to tip. Tell you what, game, you tell me where we're at. Yeah, we're already at the tipping point there. Also. Alright, Keen, what are you going to give me for mid-air interception here? Oh, leopard grinder. Yay. Keen dropped me a drone and all I got was a lousy wet leopard grinder. I got it. I got it. I got it. Yep, I got it. Was gonna grind it down as it landed, but eh. Then I would have destroyed everything in that cargo container. I would have destroyed all the space credits. And then where would I be? I would have no use for a space ATM. There is a space ATM because there's no... Actually, it's kind of an interesting thing to consider here. Somewhere up in orbit must be some sort of armored, like armored tank, or not armored tank, armored truck equivalent that's, you know, just exploded and dropped sacks of money everywhere all over the planet. Think about that. Someone up there is randomly dropping you in Space Engineers a bunch of money. Would you necessarily be taking that money? Okay, yeah, most people would. It's not like there's anyone else on this planet. Can I move you? No, I can't. I can move one Bob by myself, but 3 is too heavy. All right. But guess we're gonna have to lock it off at some point here. Might as well do it. From wait, come just please. Would like to turn a little bit. There we go. Means I can get rid of those pistons too. Pistone away. Don't forget the troll drops that just detonate. Well, the ones that just detonate aren't really troll drops. They're actually it's how Keen keeps the drops from polluting the game grids or the world too much. So at the point where they are expired, they actually detonate. They don't do any voxel damage. They don't do any... I don't even think they really do grid damage to anything nearby, but if you happen to be nearby, it scares the absolute crap out of you. Which is the other reason why I don't mind racing after those drops. Alright. Need for a thing there. It's gonna be a ground-based ship because the atmosphere is just way too charged up to send anything up in the air. If I did, I'd probably wind up getting hit by lightning if I went up way above, like, you know, about, like, best guess is about 300, 400 feet. And that's why I'm keeping the turbines nice and low, because those things, all that stuff moving through the dry air here, they're just building up static electricity. It's a lot easier to isolate those things and properly ground them down here. That's the reactor. That's where that's living currently. What kind of cockpit do we want to put on this thing? I don't have access to the rover cockpit yet. I've got the mech cockpit, though. Which actually kind of does... Ooh, yeah, because I can do... Got an idea. Got a crazy idea. It might just work. Because I don't normally use the mech cockpit in this fashion, but for the purposes of what I'm doing here, it kind of will fit. Some displays and some glass will be good. Let me guess, I don't have any displays. Nope, I do. Wow, I actually have parts too. I mean, normally the mech cockpit was meant to be sort of like, you're familiar with the Vulture from Battletech. Sort of look like that. And in this case, I'm going to use it to get a nice sunken cockpit look out of it instead. Nope, that's not in the right place. Get myself right on the mirroring. help it. I am addicted to the beaten armor. This just looks so nice. Especially when you give it the Fallout faded blue color to it. That's not looking too bad at all. Alright, so that's the drill at the front. I gotta remember that's gonna be extremely heavy, so I'm definitely going to want some good wheels up at the front. And to boot, I've got to be careful with this because I need to... Yeah, I need to bring stuff back through here. So I can't put on the wheels just yet. I need to run connector tubes. Conveyor tubes through here. It's all connected. Straight. That is armored. Yes. Okay. Interior plate. No. Yeah, let's turn that off. I need to keep my center's mass on constantly. Construction, interior. All that bulletproof glass, too. I forgot about needing all of that. So now we can connect you up, and that way that will let me... Frames, tubes, sorters... So you straight... Cross-section, T-section... No, I had that curve up here a second ago. Where are you? Even though you... Cross-section. Wait a minute. Oh, yeah, because that's that one. T-section. No, we don't want that. I could use it. I'm still going to need it over here. Oh, yeah. I'll do it. And then for over here... A very low down protected cockpit. I can't even get into this from there. This is a bit of a problem. The mech cockpit does not have the best of entry points on it sometimes. Like right now. Can't get in. Let me in! Let me in! Legitimately, I would need to... And leave that open, I believe, to get in. Yeah, because there's the... It's kind of weird. But the entry point to that cockpit is right there. This tiny little box that sticks out in a block ahead from it. It's still a nice cockpit. One I can't actually pick right now. Yeah, there it is. Okay, so I need to keep that accessible. Should be, yep, I can do with that. Perfect. Not gonna have as robust a front end as I wanted it to, but gonna be able to get away with... Can I get away with... Hang on. Yeah, I did manage to grab the right one. My mind is finally beginning to adjust to where the half blocks are now. Let's see, can I... Oh, that's weird. Yeah, I'm definitely not going to need to have this block here in front. And that blocks it right up. Alright. I can leave it as framework, except no, Bob's going to not be happy with that. Alright, open it is. So we've got that conveyor on there. We'll mirror on this side. So that would be the T section. Straight, straight, straight. And so might as well wrap that around back. Pipe in the cockpit while I'm at it, right? Actually, no. Cross-section. So I just have to find the curved conveyor belt piece. Conveyor belt? Oh, what am I playing? Factorio? Is this satisfactory? Did I miss something? Can't be satisfactory. Though, actually, that would be kind of amusing if there were conveyor belts in the game. I mean, granted, it's kind of along the lines of what Keen originally clearly wanted to do with the whatchamacallits. Corner curved piece. It's that's not a curved piece. Spacebar, I think Keen's broken your selection on those. Because that's definitely what I was picking. It's definitely what's putting back in the selection box there, but it's still showing that. Alright, no big deal. We can always just work with until that's fixed. I will not just simply wither away just because I cannot get all of the conveyor system armored. Yeah, it's sort of along the lines of a conveyor belt would be like what Keen originally wanted to do with... Clearly wanted to do, I should say, with the original conveyors way, way back in the old days. Missing motors, so we can grab a couple of those. Construction components, sure. But then I think they definitely had to... Seems like they had to scrap that one because the impact on the game performance. But it would be kind of nice if there was a... Maybe not a conveyor belt mod that showed you exactly what was going through everything, but just like had parts randomly appearing on it that would move along. And do it in such a fashion that would look like it was actually actively moving things. Because that would be pretty cool. A visual indicator aside from the lights that the conveyor network is actually active by just having it move random bits and things around. Alright, so we've got ourselves that. We certainly will need some cargo storage space, and I'm probably going to regret this. Because I don't think the... Yeah, that's a low... I want a low profile thing, and a large container is just not going to work for that. We want the wheeled version of what we had previously. As far as the Banana Waffle went. As it went before its time. Alright, that should work. What am I... Alright. Hang around. Extra equipment that I no longer need. So, lots of other things I don't need either. Look me up. There we go. This one, this time, I'm going to do right. If I can pull it off. Connectors. Want to try to plan ahead. Knowing I need to have a wheel mount point right here. Make sure that's right where I wanted to put the wheel. Darn it. Oh well, can't win. Can't win every time, at least. If the wheel's going to go here, and it's going to be a big 5x5 wheel, then the connector port... Go port starboard, and I want to... I'm putting that there, so that way if I decide to, say... mount... additional cargo off the sides, a cargo pod, I could do that and hook them in a bit easier. Unlike the... Waffle, which did have its little problem with that. As far as trying to make a modular setup. This is less than ideal, but it's only going to be passing stone, so I don't have to worry about the fact that I've got the small conveyor ports there. I do not anticipate that being a problem. We still have plenty of glass. There should be displays, which I might need more of. Construction, steel, interior. Small, large. Yeah, I should have everything I need there aside from... Brain failing. Oh, we're good. All right. Into the top. No, come here. I need to get you your haircut here just right. Still haven't gotten used to the fact that I can't simply double select my block to reset it though. All right. Not much of a looker right now, but she'll clean up nicely. 5x5 right suspension. Yeah, because that's where I wanted to stick the wheel. Just gonna complain it can't be placed, and then I need a bit more of a back on it. I want to actually have some counterweight on this end too, if only just to stop it from rolling around helplessly every time it is empty. That is a bit of a problem. The problem is I'm gonna have to incorporate some lift into this thing because, yeah, right now I don't have a way to add those wheels properly, especially with... Oh, now I can move. Okay, game. Now apparently I can move that little bit. But just around its pivot point. Come on. Come on. Okay, that's good enough. I don't want to spend the entire stream pushing around. We tried that last time, trying to get the stuff through the doors. And how did all of that work out? Well, for about 40% of the drone it worked out. So I have that right over... Yeah, what? Okay, yeah. That panel line was looking really bizarre there for a second. I'm like, wait a minute, that can't be it sloping around. When was the last time I ran out of steel plate? I had a ton of that on me, I thought. Apparently I did not. You know what? It's nice that there is the option in the game to tell it that you want the random drops on and off, but like something that would let me adjust the timing on it so I don't see one every like 5 minutes when I know that 2 out of 3 times I see them drop, they will not give me anything because of the way that the behavior has been hard-coded. Should be okay doing this. Yeah. All right, let's give these guys a proper reactor home, and I think I've got enough materials on hand. I could punch it through to 2 reactors. Certainly know I've got reactor components and superconductors out here. But no construction components on hand. I need 9 reactor components for that and a lot more there. All right, we have things to make us go, right? It's like I can't be out of iron. Plenty of gravel. Don't have to worry about that anytime soon. Heck, for that matter, if I still had the runway mod, I could be producing tons of... well, maybe not tons. I could probably produce 3 slabs of runway out of that. I am indeed using the drill build system. It is an option. I have to convert the bobs into them to use them, though. So it does come at a bit of a cost. Which is why the Bob on the front of this is going to be rebuilt into one in a little, not a complete matter of time, not right now, but very soon. They are very much as heavy, if not heavier, than traditional vanilla drill, so do not want to put it on right now for fear this whole thing is going to tip forward. Okay, so now we've got a viable reactor. We can take you out. Well, that happened. Why did... Yeah, mistakes were made. Alright, I guess we're going to be building that piston rig into this sooner rather than later. It's okay. Like I said earlier, happy little accidents. Gives me a chance to show off the idea I've had for that, so... 15 into each, plenty of onboard power. And the great thing about this setup is I've got... It would have been easier to pop it in before it dropped, because I know I don't want to put that piston there. We know what's going to happen if I try to fire that sucker off. Yeah, we just need to leverage the backup a little bit. It's fine. Didn't have to be that much, and I gotta do it anyways to get the wheels on. Perfect. What I want to do is have something built into this design as far as getting the grid up off of the ground. Just so that way I don't have to worry about having to do this in the field without the parts available for it, potentially. So the whole core of this craft is going to be able to lift itself up. It's the plan anyways. Execution is going to be, as always, iffy. Not only that, but the nice thing about this is I'll also be able to use this to basically lock the grid in a fixed position. So when I do use it, if I do for precision drilling, I won't have any problems with that. We'll just put this up on a marked location, lock it down, and it won't go anywhere, and that way the drill will always be in the same spot for drilling. If that, I need the pistons. That. Wall extend, please. And there will be a minimum distance enforced on these guys. Good little scorpion tail there. Inverted scorpion tail, I guess. Alright. Hey, let's see if we can get those wheels on now. 1, 2, 3, 4. Load the wheels on out the door. Oh, hey, Bob's helping out finally. I realized I had, Why is Bob suddenly being helpful? Where have you been all day, Bob? I'm sitting here building this grid out here. You're not doing a darn thing? Oh, right, the, ranges. I have the Bobs out here set on a custom range to build underground. Just because I don't have any Bobs underground, and after what I went through last week trying to get a single Bob down there, I don't think we're going to be seeing much in the way of trying to get another one under there anytime soon. Seriously, if you haven't seen it, definitely catch last week's episode, because that was an interesting one, and holy crap, I can't believe I'm having another Red Pharaoh moment here, but honestly, it does kind of demonstrate how Space Engineers has finally started to get to a point where you can actually do some risky things and feel confident knowing you're not gonna basically have the entire world fall apart around you. I have to give them the credit where credit is due on that one, guys. Okay, so these are going to attach into the bill like that. Should I put that gyro in a bad spot? I wanted to run that as a extra connection point into that, so I need... I could put the reactor up there, but I really don't want to do that. That really would be begging for Clang to hit. There's no front feed into this cockpit, so just need that T1 again. There. Quick transition from red to blue to purple. Yeah, red to purple and blue. Yeah, well, that's kind of the nature of the game these days. It can be nice, and then it can just take everything away from you still in one fell swoop. So just slightly less salty. That's my cockpit selection game. What's my FAN? Come on, I did not build a block there on purpose. I could see one before. You're not a damaged cockpit. This is going to be interesting trying to work with this. All right, what if we just take you out? Now I've got... There we go. Now I can get all of it. All right, so there's just a little tiny gap there, but it's still good. Also should mean... Man, the cockpit is being really picky today. I may have built this thing and Austin powered it already. Senor Pistones. Reverse. Okay, yeah, we can definitely go further than that as far as minimum distance. I'd like to have some blocks sticking out from under them too. Maybe... 0.25 is good. Will admit there's a piece of me that would like to put rotors on it and then stick landing gear on it so that I could raise it up and rotor some landing gear underneath it to lock on. But that one I know for sure is still broken. You do not rotor landing gear in this game still unless you really have a death wish. Alright, so you're relatively good shape. You've got power. You don't have batteries. Work on that easily enough. Back end is a bit exposed, so... Speaking of batteries, let's stick the thing that's got lots of components and lots of weight directly on the back. Those stuff. Nope, we don't need all of this. Can I get a little bit more in here? Cram some more into the inventory, please. Perfect. Coming across as a relatively nice little flat pack miner here. Why are you... All right. Keen bug. Have they fixed this since last time? So if I try to do this, and I can't put that in there. That was working. What was I trying to do the other week? I tried to either drag a thing manually over, and then click on something that was empty. Yeah. It was a really specific set of steps you had to go through to actually trigger it. Like this thing, if I turned down the suspension strength, could probably run on its roof if I had to. I mean, this is doing pretty good so far. All right, the twos should not be on steering duty. Let's be in front. Actually, you know what? Two should be on steering duty. The ones should not. We're going to do this as a rear-wheel drive vehicle. going to help me position better, I suspect. And want suspension strength up. Kind of weight we want, that'll do it. We can drop down power because that's absolutely ridiculous. Steering angle needs to go down because they don't need to steer that far. Alright. Thinking a rear bumper on this thing probably would not be a bad idea. Let's not blow up Bob. I would give you a longer front bumper to protect it better, but thought I turned down the power before I started this move. I have no gyro steering on this either, unfortunately. There's Bob's in the background. We're almost there. And I wish that Bob was updated to a follow player when Grinder Welder was out the way the Bill can. Yeah, that's a neat feature. I haven't used it just because it's preferable in this circumstance to have a bit more. I guess it's much better with the rear steering like that. She's still really bizarrely power happy. Suspension is almost a bit too strong. Oh, no, I know what it is. It's the back end's not going to be right. Do center of mass and take a look at her from an angle I can actually see it with my lights on. Where are you? Pistons are not helping with that. Okay, yeah, actually, no, the center of mass on that grid is not far off middle, actually. Adding the bumper on this will probably give me exactly what I need as far as weight distribution. Steel plate? How am I run out of that? I thought I picked up all of the steel plate I could. I probably did pick up all the steel plate I could. It's not going to be enough. How's that look? Center of gravity is on this line here. Vehicle center mass would be about there. Okay. That's not bad, but it's about to get worse. All right. I'm looking for Bill in this blasted menu. It's not going to work, Farrell. Hasn't actually officially adopted that name. All right, let's make sure you're empty. All right. I'm retrofitting the Bob to be Bill in place. Yes, I am, because this is something that is entirely possible within the game mechanics. Let's see how badly that throws the whatchamacallit down. Hang on, no. Put him in upside down. You didn't see that. I'm not spending an entire episode building a crane and rotor rig to turn Bob or Bill back upside. It does help from a standpoint. You now have... Let's see that because the sun is also going down. Oh yeah, that shoved it way forward now. We need something a bit more robust. I think we can accommodate something. Let's see, turning rear wheels. That should be enough clearance on them. He says, question mark? I could always just lop off that one, honestly. It doesn't have to be that big of a bumper in the back. No, it's not a spoiler, in case anyone's thinking that. I'm not that crazy to think that this thing would actually need one. Let's do... I'm not turning that one right, am I? Not in the slightest. Full block from the battery side is the half cylinder. Okay. I think the big thing that Bob would benefit right now from, and Bill too, kind of, would be almost feels like it needs an easier interface for shifting it around, because I will, if there's one thing that I think that we have, and I'm throwing Uncoop in this, I'm throwing KSC into this, not that we've used Bob's over there, but every time I've seen Bob used in a series, it's never been really used strategically. And one of the nicest things you can wind up doing, like I've done, I said with the Bobs over here, is they're set up to actually be able to build down in the base. So you can keep the Bobs, in general, the way we've always employed them is just blob it around the core of the vehicle and it protects everything. But you can do a lot of fine tuning to the Bob radius and keep him basically working on critical mission systems. So you've got a Bob dedicated to handle one weapon turret, so it takes a little bit of damage, and that Bob is immediately on it and working away. The trick is that it is a little on the painful side to actually manipulate the Bob areas in that manner, unfortunately. It's a bit tricky. It works. I mean, you can adjust it. It just takes a little bit of finessing to try to figure out, okay, which way is the grid oriented to it. And I think that's part of the reason why mod authors started doing these little up decals on the outside. Just like these little symbols over here actually have meaning too. So they change color and texture and whatnot, or not texture, but shape, technically, when the grid starts doing certain things with Bob. Got that. I need a little more in the trunk here. And keep one of these ports open, so I can always get in and fuel the reactor manually if I have to. Another gyro on it. Because I removed the one that was up here. So we can stick one in the back here. So now I got spares, and what else can we do on board? We want an antenna. Actually, I guess we could, because we can still get to that reactor through there. Components, huh? I built a couple extra of those. It's apparently not so. Yeah, they all have, well, Bob didn't originally. That was only about, what was it, 5-6 months ago, I think, that that Bob actually got the markers on his grid. Let's see, I'm kind of, how do I fit? I got the spotlights in the back, which is nice. I need the spotlights to be also available up front, and I'm guessing. The problem is, in order to get a good spotlight kind of set up, good field of view, I need to put them here. I guess it's kind of the best I can do. I mean, they don't cast shadows anyways, technically, so that will hold out for now. All right. What else we got? She's nice and flat. We've got that. We don't have an O2 generator. We've got enough room just barely between these wheels. This is very clearly going to be a case of something is going to have to come out and piston into these. Or I rotate the center cargo container around and it becomes a top load-unload operation. Got you. How's the center of gravity look at this point? I'm gonna have problems. Nope, COG is pretty much right about where I want it. I'm facing it dead on. Center that connector's there. Keeping it nice and low and mostly over the midsection. And because of the way the drill's going to work, it's going to unload into here. Well, it's going to unload in the cockpit first, unfortunately. Then it unloads into here, middle, then back. All right, so we're in good shape. So all we need is the ore detector. Where do I cram that in? It's a nice thin grid. I don't want to just stick something on top of it sticking out like that. It means I could put this in a nice little low garage. Guess I could kind of fit that there. Here's this guy's ore detector. I don't think we really need... I ripped it out, didn't I? I did. I already ripped that out last time. Put that on. Hello, ore detector. Thinking about that, I should really turn that grid back on. Run off the batteries in the solar panels. Especially because it's got the survival kit on it, which is currently... Well, no, I do have the med bay in there now. That's right. I also got to detach this stuff, too. Because I recovered these bits off of the wreck up there. And I still have the wrecks, the little chunk out there. Something that's going to go on the other side of that ship. And the computers. Or... Give me inventory. Need input. Okay, detector components. What can go on that side? Holmes, he says. It's not hooked into the cargo network at all, but I don't want it to be. We don't need it to be. Can sit on that. Considering an embellishment of some sort. Oh, hang on. I do know one thing I want to stick on it. Something else that Keen fixed. Alright, let's get that under control. Doesn't need to be that bright. Max that. Actually, intensity 5, offset link, rotation speed. Oh, please slow down. Okay, too slow. Too slow. Oh, that one's a weird decimal point value. And orange. That was the emissive color I just adjusted, wasn't it? Darn it. Hang on. Keen? That looks like that emissive color isn't being enforced there. That is very much broken. I mean, it's selected. Emissivity's slider doesn't care what I'm doing to it. Okay. Now I'm getting a little bit of the proper color there. Okay. All right, so let's see what else. We've got power on board. We have everything but the detector. Trying to find something that would work on the other side. Maybe a oxygen farm would not be a bad idea. Because it is going to kind of be parked out in the open, but use some creative tubing to do it. Actually, no, it's not worth it because it doesn't connect on that side at all. Nothing connects in there. But it would look so pretty, is the problem. Alright, we're just got to go without something there, because I was thinking small grid. Refining. There's any number of things we could do. Need detector components built. Done. Easy enough. There we go. Alright. Yeah, this grid should be good. We got 2 reactors on board. We've got a full-on battery on board. Proper hazard warning. Lighting is good. How am I going to get this thing up and down this ramp, though? I don't have any less steep ramp technology still. There's a problem. And again, no, it's not. Every problem, there's an engineering solution. Put a block mount there. So I should have a... Not exactly the right facing for it, but as far as wheel depth, that is definitely well off the ground. In fact, yeah, let's get that right. This is one of the few remaining bobs we've got. Let's get it right. Pay the price. I think that's gonna be too low. But no, you guys are absolutely right. That design certainly begin to have its problems again. We don't want to repeat the mistakes of yesteryear, right? There are happy accidents, and there are accidents that really could have just been avoided. I don't think I can link. No, I should be able to. See if we can get a little bit of a cradle underneath Bob here, too, to give him some potential protection. Not that light grid armor block is really protection, but okay. Just let me know where I've got to build the suspension on this side. 3 on the left, and let's remember to turn off steering on this. Oh, right. Build one more block out before I put that wheel on. That'd be pretty handy. There you go. Quit your worrying, everybody. We got this. We have an engineering solution for this problem. I just gotta get it built right here. So that side, hill up. Nothing to see here. Go about your business. This is gonna hold. First time I run into the ramp. After that, who knows? But it's worth a shot. Let's see. Solid block behind there. There. And get to look a little bit prettier. Bit more extra support is going to drag a lot of front weight on this chassis again, so not thrilled with it, but I'm not thrilled with the idea of losing a Bob again, or a Bill. Should put up a Bill kill board. A kill Bill board. That's what I need. Oh boy, there are so many word puns on that thing that I could play with. Good grief. Come on. Pack pit. That's me in. Come on. In. 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 Ah, I got in, now I got out. Up. You're right. There. Okay. We need to add that suspension of the wheels. You are not going to be for steering, but I can't do anything until you add the wheels. I do not like that, Keen. I should be able to adjust suspension parameters even if there are no wheels present, honestly. That doesn't really make a lot of sense, but... Oh, look at that. She'll wheelie for me. Nice. This is a nice lightweight grid. I was trying to pull her forward so I could get that stuff built, but we don't need that. All right, now I can get you adjusted. No steering. Keep the power down. Strength. Kind of just need them draped on the ground, more or less. Turn down the friction a little bit so it's not going to drag me down a little bit. All the wheels also should not have. Let's not tempt Clang any more than we need to. So I just want this suspension to be just strong enough to ride on the ground, basically. Also point out, I am not a wheel expert. So believe me, I am probably screwing this up. Do not try this at home. Construction components. What do we have? Aye, we do. Beautiful. I want them to have some play, obviously, but not like ungodly amounts of it. Because otherwise the middle wheels, which are... Well, actually, no, that's good, because... Yeah, actually, this won't be too bad if the front ones have a bit more contact, because it means that the steering is all being done in the back anyways, so... Alright, before we go anywhere... What does this look like if I come in... Yeah, that'll be good enough. That's exactly what I want. I want to see those wheels kind of take their time coming back down to the ground to a certain extent. Maybe give them a little more leeway on their suspension strength. Now that I know they're kind of in a decent spot. Just enough to not lift the rover. Yeah, okay, we're good. All right, we need, before I go anywhere, we need to fill up on hydrogen. Realizing I have been staring in the face of some dead O2 tanks. And while I have some stuff, I don't have a lot of it. This was where I was setting up for emergency access. O2, you have no... those bottles filled. And yeah, this is the reason why I need to go out a-wandering today. Because I need to find a source of ice. What I've got is enough to survive off of, but it's not going to last indefinitely. So let's also not take out all the good parts too while I'm thinking about it. Into that inventory, please. I still don't 100% like the whole thing that Keen has done with that active inactive inventory stuff. Still, they've patched it. It feels better, but it's still something that definitely is screaming console and not anything else. And that is kind of an annoying thing. Alright, we are... Let's see, I've got a GPS. I should probably change that to... home plate. So we're going to turn off all of my ore indicators for the time being, just so I can focus on where I'm at. The ore detector should be on. We can move add wheels. Detector on off toggle. It's a good drill will be a toggle on off. We'll worry about getting that set up when we actually get somewhere here. And let's just... East sounds like a good direction. We'll try east. Just stick with a compass point and drive it out. I am... Before I forget... Jack the range up, please. For what good's gonna do me. 29 days of power on board with those 2 reactors, so that's a good sign. Last season used a 3x1 dual airlock doors that was a single block in your moon base. Cannot find it in the workshop. Do you remember what it was called? The 3x1s, I think, were from the MA bridge set. I'm guessing on that one. I'm not 100% certain on that. Platinum, silver. I'm not worrying about finding any ore as I go out. I'm strictly worrying about ice right now. And the good news is actually, no, I'm driving into the darkness, technically. So probably would have been smarter to drive towards the light. That would have just been so cliche, though. Drive into the light. Yeah, I'm thinking it was... No, it wasn't that Steamlands. What Ben's asking about is the, it is definitely... It was the one I had on the original part of the passenger concourse that I built first. The little enclosed area that was by the cargo storage section. Because it was a, well, actually, they weren't dual doors specifically. I just had them rigged up so they were duals. I'm pretty sure that my gut is still saying the MA bridge set because I think it's airlock that can be put at the back of the bridge. Because I remember that integrating somewhat with the half stairs they have in that. Kind of guessing on that though. I could be way off base. Yeah, MA bridge. If you look for that you should be able to find it pretty easily. I don't know if he's got the. Remember if he's got the full list of all the stuff he's got in that block for blocks in that set. Because sometimes you look and it's like, holy crap! I didn't even realize that was a thing. I gotta say, this is handling nicely so far. Granted, this is not exactly a challenging planet, so I don't mind. Wasn't worried about ground clearance on this thing. Kind of hoping for some signs of water, though. Some ice popping up on the ore detector would be nice, too. I mean, there's vegetation here, so clearly this planet has some sort of, some water available. These are very much salt flats, so I would imagine there's got to be something out here, right? The upper level storms are starting up. We got anything? So, tonight on Moving Sideways, Earl sets off on a trip around the globe. That was a single block has an air vent in the center between the two doors. That was, I think, another bridge piece block I might have put in. I'm trying to remember the ceiling setup on it. Because the ceiling was also tricky too because it was a half-height ceiling. The block itself was... Is that between two blocks? No, it was single block. There's that, and I mean there is another mod out there that has 3x1 airlocks. The because I used it on, and I know this one exists because I used it on Space Base 1, and that was before I had the MA bridge set added. That one. Oh, I can't even think of the name of that one. But I'll take a look after the stream at the mod list and see if I can pick it out. I'm not getting anything for ore right now over here. I landed in a very lucky place apparently where there's lots of ore because this is just nothing. There is nothing in the ground at all out here. Looks like we're coming up on some hillier terrain out there. Hello, water. Use some water. I'd like a drink. My throat is getting awfully parched. Let's try something here. Oh, she does a neat little hop too. There we go. There's some nickel. Iron, nickel. Iron, nickel. Okay, apparently I found the motherload of iron. Good to know. It's one of the things I don't need, though. I have plenty of iron. I have iron for days. Oh, hang on. It looks like we might actually have a cliff edge over here. Nope. Optical illusion. You have a boulder over here, though. Take a look at that. Actual terrain. Surprised that it actually does seem to be iron. It seems like all the boulders on this planet are iron. That's just optical illusion, glitch in the voxels that was gleaming over there. Back on course. 12 kilometers away, and I have not found a single source of water. Found cobalt and iron. Nickel and iron. More nickel and iron. All of the nickel and iron that I could need. Uranium. Got all these little periodic smorgasbords out here, and I'm guessing it looks like, it's almost like it's around the hills to a certain extent that you find the most, minerals. Yep, boulder. Turn, baby, turn. I've got the turning radius nailed on this. It's not great, but it's definitely much. I'm not going to tip this thing over. Not with this profile. Turning radius is just perfect for it. To the point. I regret this. Let's turn up that speed limit. Let's really gun it. Yeah, she's holding that pretty good. Getting any clankety clank sounds for sure. It's 50 meters per second. Well, I'd usually push a set of wheels. This is probably another ore or iron. Yep, it's red. Oh, hang on. I see glowy thing. Big glowy thing. I think I found some water, guys. Oh, thank goodness. I was not looking forward to running out of that. Water. Water. I think. It looks shiny and reflective. I'm hoping it's not the game about to trounce me by throwing me off a ledge into nothingness. I mean, it is kind of mysteriously a little overlit for night, but it's not, it's a little, alright, well, let's dip a toe in. It does look a bit fishy. Because it's freaking me out right now. I'm looking down at this and I'm seeing the reflected skybox. And it looks like I'm about to drive off the edge into space. Let's be honest here. I mean, we don't even necessarily know it's water, technically. It could be like methane ice or something. Well. Alright. Leave the proper phrase for this. Once I find the point to get into the cockpit. Add it. Let me. Ah! There you go. Yellow. Okay, no, it is indeed ice. Alright, let's give this thing a little bit of a whirl in the ice then. Oh, yeah. The gyro steer just saved my butt there. Speed limit is something and a half at that point. Okay, we have ice. GPS, that sucker. Ice. Alright, let's get ourselves set up here. With Mr. Bill. Actually, why am I... Oh, right, I need to add that. Pistons need to all be grouped up. Pistons. Pistoins. Inventing new words in the English language all the time. Nice. Gets us nice and elevated, even if the reflection is a bit, That reflection is definitely acting a bit off on some of its points. Hey, Keen, that's a very interesting reflection I'm getting there. That doesn't seem optically possible. Just saying. It is definitely a weird one. Alright, I want to try to put down... Since I know I've got trash cleanup turned off. Oh, I didn't bring any of the parts with me. Darn. I was going to consider putting down a docking port over here. I want to have to take stuff off of it. To do so, we do have... As soon as I give this a proper name... Let's get you as... It's not a... It's not a strawberry pancake. It's not a banana waffle. It's the blueberry muffin. So I know how to identify it when I'm going in off of excavation mode. I mean, come on. This is like the cat. This is the episode of The Simpsons where they talk about they want to add a third character to Itchy and Scratchy, and they're putting out the cartoon hierarchy is mouse, cat, dog. You know, We've had pancakes, we've had waffles, we've got to have a muffin. Well, what else was they going to call it? An everything bagel? It doesn't have everything on it. Though that would be amusing. Drill system. Let's get you showing the area. Should now be able to. Giving me an offset in that direction. All right, depth. Derp. Hit the muffin. It's. Should we call it back? Forward offset. Let's go 20. That's good. Let's drop you. Actually, I guess we can leave the drillable area alone for that. I don't need to grab too much here. Just enough to fill her up and bring her back. Let's see. We have to gather everything anyway, so yeah, I guess what we'll do. Hop back in the cockpit and just monitor. I see you trying to draw the cockpit interaction bubble, but catch me in. Catch me in. This thing is going to be particularly fun the moment I have to try to hop into it quickly to recharge or refill on O2. I'm just saying. Let's see. It should be good. All right. Go for it, Bill. Have some fun. I want to see this thing carve a nice, perfect square into the lake bed here. If it gets blown up, it'll be the toasted muffin. If it gets blown up, it'll be the charcoal brick, really. Let's be honest here, guys. Plenty ice flowing in. Look at that already. We have filled the cockpit. We have filled one cargo container. We got 2 more to go and the connectors. I'm gonna pack this grid full of it, so I don't have to spend an entire episode watching this thing mine. That's the next trick. I gotta get something rigged on the base to unload it. Here's number 2. So we're going to pack the connectors next. That won't take too long. So this is the good news, is I'm going to be able to fill this thing up, which is, it's a good sign, at least as far as trying to figure out how to get the heck off of this world. It's going to be tricky, though. I don't think I'm going to be able to really build anything above ground as far as a ship goes, because it's going to be sticking out up in the air. It's just going to be ripe for getting hit with these storms that are passing overhead. So I'm going to have to build something underground and unleash it. Similar to uncooperative, it sounds like. Do a little bit of prettifying and whatnot down there and make a large enough space for it, but that'll be about it. Drill should be pretty much. Ooh, actually, the drill's got as much room in it as a medium cargo container. That seems a bit on the weird side, but I guess it's that way because of the well, A, the inventory modifier that I've got running, and B, it's got to be able to carry a decent amount around. It's good enough. All right, let's get the pistons on their hot bar. Drop her back down. Suspension is looking slightly depressed, but not bad. Let's also get the show area on the hot bar here, so I can stop going in and out of that menu. It's a very deep, dangerous chasm in the lake there. course, I put it right between me and driving home. Not necessarily like the Thunderbirds. I mean, it certainly does kind of fit. I mean, the bigger problem is if you build... Well, let me put it this way. We got the escape velocity out from underground on Uncoop. I would not take any money in the world to try to get it to actually fit back in that hole exactly. There is no way I could have done that without taking some serious damage. Just gotta keep this in mind going home, that you want to keep the speed down a little bit. I mean, there's not a lot of bumps, but there's enough that I would not want to round the suspension out here. Take it nice and easy. I mean, the other problem is that if you do build something big underground, you want to be able to put it back down there. Then you need a really, really big hatch. And I think we kind of proved in the last season at ground base that it's not really viable. Rotors in the game just aren't strong enough to do a good large grid setup. And turn the whatchamacallit off. We don't really need our ore detector running now. They don't really... Even the small grid ones, I think, would be hard pressed to try to handle a, you know, basically like a detachable roof or a foldable roof. And trying to find a hangar door that's actually big enough for that? Ooh, yeah. Oh, hell. No. They don't exist. Most of the, unfortunately, a lot of the really large hangar door mods in the workshop are ones that are experiencing a lot of texture problems now. They still work. One or two of them are not doing air tightness properly, if I remember correctly from my testing. And yeah, the rest are just purple. I mean, it's just like the ones that Escape Velocity launched with originally on the sides for the little side hangers on it. Those are broken. Or they were broken. I don't know if they've been fixed yet or not. I think they have. I could be wrong. But yeah, it's kind of hard to find a really good way to do that kind of proper thing. I don't think anyone's really found out a good sort of multi-block. What it really needs to be is like a multi-block structure that... I'm trying to think of a way to describe it. I mean, it's sort of like there's the light bridge mod, which unfortunately also has its own problems right now. That it would kind of do something where you can retract it, but not like have a, you know, a full-on block per se. My brain's kind of wandering around directions there. Only had something that could dig a square missile launch silo. No, I don't want to dig a square missile launch silo, because then I'm just going to build a square ship, and it's just going to be a Borg ship, and that's going to be the end of it. I want a ship to have character. We could have very easily, with Pam on Uncoop, set it up to dig out just strictly a entirely rectangle area, and that would have been the end of it. And, you know, no big deal. You know, we had the little offshoots and the little side pockets here and there, and the bit that could extend further down. So if we wanted to give it more of a chin, we could. And then it came up at the front because Pam had dug out the upper part of it in priority, and we were getting absolutely frustrated with the slow pace of everything. So we said, okay, that's it. We've got enough room. Let's build. So, no, I want to build it underground, but I want to have it with character. I want to see if I can have lightning strike twice as far as the, things like building a ship underground go. Because I'm really happy with how the escape velocity turned out. That was a good ship. I mean, the biggest problem is it's got to be something I'm going to have to launch it during the day, for starters, and it's going to have to be able to accelerate as fast as we can get off this planet, because I think that trying to get through this ionized layer of the atmosphere is going to be pretty tricky. I mean, of course, the other thing I've got to worry about is where are we going? I mean, I've got a nice big moon over there I could go to, apparently, and then there's the The little peak of a planet, of a super planet, almost looks like, out in the horizon, too. To figure out where we're going next. But I definitely don't want to leave until I've got a decent base back here, so if anything does happen when I go out there, I've got somewhere to fall back to. Great thing about all this, the ionizing radiation going on is that it is basically keeping me safe effectively. No one wants to come down here. They scan this stuff from orbit, and they can't really make out anything on the planet, and I bet, and, you know, I'm sitting down here, no one wants to send anything down. They don't know I'm down here. So who else is going to show up? I think that's why Red Feral hasn't found me at this point. He doesn't know where I've gone. This planet's just a big old black hole in the middle of nowhere as far as sensors go. This planet is begging, I might point out, it is begging for someone to do a dune race, a dune buggy race course on. Because it would be absolutely perfect for this. Build up a couple areas with the sand instead of the default dirt textures, and it would be absolutely perfect. I need a remote control grid on this block so I could put it in autopilot. Every now and then, I just give it a little tap of the gas. Because this is a very pretty planet. We're going 50. That's kind of a lot with this amount of cargo. Don't split apart whatever you do, grid. I know you still have that bug where cargo containers will randomly take just enough damage and explode. Which wouldn't be that bad. I could survive that in this grid. I'd have to shift the reactors forward, but at the very least, the front wheels could drag me home. Even the wheels next to the cargo containers are far out enough that they wouldn't take damage in any sort of cargo container explosion, but it does make me a bit nervous. At least I can get this home. I can start working on getting some oxygen, some hydrogen generation facilities. Start stockpiling some H2 tanks down underground where they'd be safe from potential strikes. That's another problem. I can't really put anything above ground for oxygen or hydrogen storage safely. Got the little tanks on the rovers, but that's about the worst I want to, you know, worst I want to court bad luck. All I need is one lightning strike on a hydrogen tank, and that's it. Game over. Alright, let's see. Slow her down a little bit. Let's make sure we don't crunch it. Oh, at this point, make sure I can even get up the ramp. Yikes. Those are perfectly suited for this, so that's good news. We can... yeah. Easy peasy. Home again, jiggity jig. I just need a way to build an unload facility here. It's a good thing I still got this cargo tube coming out of here. It's also unfinished. Kind of not be a bad idea to stick it right about there, let's say. So that way we've got somewhere. Yeah, we've got more than enough clearance on that side. All right, let's go ahead and dealt with. That's clean armor on the ground. Just for the time being. Get that out of the way. So I can walk. Piston setup. I think probably the best way to do it would be to get a hole here so I can raise the piston ever so slightly up. And also not invite clang from these blocks. So maybe... to connect all this into the cargo network somehow. Ooh, yeah, that's gonna be... How do I get rid of that, please? Right here, we piston up a little bit, put a side connector on it to tilt it out. I think... like a, what we kind of need is a piston variant mod. Something that would be like, I'm trying to think about the best way to describe it, like a flexible tube sort of thing. So there would be like a, think of it like a large grid block, but it would have like a, look like a small grid piston coming out of it, coming over this way, or could just make it out of small grid parts. Piston it, stick an advanced rotor on the end of it. Maybe that's the way to do it. Because then I could also stick it on rotors at this end to aim it up and out of the way, or at least flip it over in that direction. If I do it as an advanced rotor down here, then I'll have a lot easier time tying it into this cargo network. The original run underneath that is right there. I don't have to go down far. He says he loses complete sight of where the grid is overhead there. Do I even need to do that? I don't have to run. I've got to run the last bit of underground. That's why. So this part over here is going to do... Let's clear that out. Need that to be the curved, and I think that one was showing up fine last time I was trying this. Yep. Okay, there we go. Curved. And I have no parts to build anything with. Okay, we can fix that quickly enough. Also, Mr. Refinery, here, have some stone. Why are you... Well, we refined all the silicon. Now it's moved on to the nickel. Do the stone. Why are you... It's actually the last of the stone. Let's look for scrap. I know I offloaded a little bit. Oh, it's actually grabbed all the scrap too. Holy crap, we're actually going to be down to just the nickel ore that I've gathered for refining. There's your scary thought of the day. While I was out driving and doing all that building, the rest of it's gone. That, some of these. Going grocery shopping, some of that, a little bit of that. Oh yeah, I guess I ran out of that and picked some of that up. Now I'm gonna need to go back for metal grids, but metal grids and bulletproof glass. Rotators and pistons. It's gonna kind of be a bit of a melange, I think. We're really gonna wind up with. But just as far as getting... Could go with an attachment point here instead. And maybe that's the way to go. Instead of a rotor. Fortunately, we have recovered those blueprints. Except the attachment base. The problem with this particular attachment is it tries to do it as a flush mount. And that's no bueno. Because this thing right here will start glitching out like crazy the second I build it. So this is not a viable option for that. But I could just do that and do the short stack anyways. And that actually boosts the grid up just a little bit there. So that's a double win in my book. I think this will work. How hard can it be? Some grids. I definitely need some of that. Everything we've got left of our steel plate. There, that should clang out a lot less. And we don't have to dig down any further to turn the corner here. We just go right into it. Then run out of everything all over again. Something I gotta do here. Hang on. Get over here. You need to start turning off spotlights because it is hideously bright out here. Don't need quite that much light. That little bit of light will do nicely, and I need to start thinking about lighting up this base anyways. Because as much as I love the rover lighting, the rovers are not always here. Small steel, grids, that, and construction components too, technically, but I'm gonna get the grids in play. There we go. I've been painting all this the wrong color too. Darn it. Right. This one I can go with the sidewall. We'll take the right textures, but it will still fit that properly. On there. Build you up. You're good, you're good. Now. Connect away. Can I have... Thank you, game. A large grid would be very nice of that block. Now you've decided to not... Wow. Didn't want to let me rotate through the menu there for some reason. Oh, crap. There goes the interior plate. Completely out, right? Heck yeah. We're stone cold out. Rotators and pistons, Murphy laughs at you along with his brother crying, no, 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 no. We got this. You'll see. It'll be fine. Nothing's going to go wrong. Everything's going to be perfectly fine. We got rid of all of our clang earlier today, remember? That was a constructive unloading of the clang burden of this grid. Now that we have separated the potential clang from the actual clang, we are good. Tell you what, you had a bunch of stuff over here. Let's see what we got. That. Oh, interior, sure. Yeah. Bring all that stuff with me. Probably everything I needed. Except for some more small steel tubes. Alright. Almost everything I need. What mod is lightning mod? The lightning mod is actually part of the planet. It's an environmental sound that plays in the background, so it's out of character. Legitimately, there's nothing wrong with this planet. I could fly up off in the atmosphere anytime I want, but for the purposes of adding to the challenge, I am acting as if the storms at night are indeed a navigational hazard. But yeah, this is all environmental sound within the mod. There's no actual, or the planet. There's no actual lightning strikes going on. It's all just like on some planets you hear the animal noises depending on where you are. Like I think the alien planets got the whoop 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 kind of thing. That's basically all it is. It's just that kind. They just the planet author decided to, very nicely I might add, set up to actually handle that sort of thing. All right. So we need to get a connector out there into the main one here. I'm gonna do some craziness here. I think that might position a bit too high or just right. Yeah, that's gonna be a bit too high, so I'm not gonna have a back and forth on it. I am going to explicitly call out that and switch over to carbon fiber. Not there. Right over here. That is pretty close to being what it needs to be. So I can put a block right there. I need something that will let me rotate. I have to do it in such a way. I don't need an advanced rotor. I just need a regular rotor. I was trying to figure out a way to get an advanced rotor to fit in there without being able to build it on anything, but the reality of it is I don't need to worry about that. This rotor does not have to be a load-bearing rotor. Weld. Steel. Okay. Hey, Feeks. Hi, Feeks. Fix the painting on this layer next at some point here. So you're going to be in that area. Hang on. Where is my brain tonight? It's not going to work. It'd look cool if it did, but it won't. I could make it work technically, but so I need to have a grid that comes out, and the bendy part is going to have to be further out from that. So we'll still have that piece in it, except do that. It needs to be rotatable, which would mean it would stick out to here. I can live with that. That will work. Rotatable, so I do need the advanced rotor. Give me the thank you, Keen. Still tubes and construction components, right? Totally tubular. Where is my still tubes and out of storage room for construction components? All right, let's just rule out any potential problem there. That gives me a rotational force over here. I'll have to pull the vehicle up slightly for this, but no worries, because I can't get in it. Selection point. Here, entry, 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 entry. I love this cockpit, but it is forever not a good thing to get into. I lost it. Back here. There you go. This is a tricky one. I probably could just use spacebar's cockpit, honestly. That new one he did. There we go. Right there. Alright, so that gets me the ability to rotate this whole limb up and out of the way. Next thing I'm going to need is, and it's also already drooping. How are you already drooping? Game, I'm watching this very slowly turn. This is not 360 degrees. You are aware of that, right? You're gonna do that bug out thing if I try to touch you, aren't you? 60, no, 355, there you are. So you're already... Good grief. I give you a velocity of 1. Just to start you going. Lower limit is gonna be 0. Reverse it back to it. That should put you flat in the horizon. Thank you also for not updating that key. That's incredibly helpful. Let's put the unlimited at 130. I don't want to go too far back because I know I've got voxels back there it'll probably clang out with. So we got that. Now, this is a cargo unloading point for mining craft only. I'm not going to be passing anything that needs to go through large grids. So, what we can do is save ourselves a little bit of a headache here. And make it look a bit decorative at the same time. Let's find our connector type A adapter. Stick that in there. And remember what I said about having a lovely little bit of what looks like a bit of structural overhead. You know, like a guide system of some sort. Well, I think we can do that. It's gonna be interesting. It's not going to look very realistic, but I think I can pull it off with projectors, technically. Downside is I got to make sure that I have all the bobs set to not weld projections. That's not that big of a deal. I'm not planning to build anything. Nope, not that. Over here. Paint it. Nope, not that. Whatchamacallit. Fudge nuts. Where is it? Straight. There we go. And maybe one more. I mean, I don't want to make this too high again, because I want to make a giant lightning rod on this base. That would kind of suck. On the other hand, that would be one unique way to charge up the batteries on base, to be honest. A lightning capacitor. Oh, why can't planets have weather? That would be so cool. That might be too much. It might, but... As always... Whoa! I've got 3... Oh, shoot. Crap. I forgot we've got the elevator to deal with. That's gonna make this interesting. I don't have the ability to the overlay for the suit mechanics. As far as being able to tweak settings from outside and inside of them, did not make it over in the recovery efforts. This is gonna be fun. We'll have to do this the old method. See, kids, back before we had things like being able to actually mess with stuff, we had control panels on everything. It's a way of quickly getting to the right block at the right time. So this is piston arm 1. Or we could just simply click on a block and have a lovely way to adjust it. At least, you know, once you have the right mods installed. There we go. All right. Actually, I like this better because I'm going to have more control over it. Go ahead and reverse. Then the next trick I've got is we're gonna have to definitely adjust the the angle of the rotor there, because I can tip the arm up a little bit. That second one's going to be too much. Let's back off on these. Take our 3 piston arms and max them out at 1.5, then pull back 3. That should stop. Not quite. There we go. I want to make sure I've got the ability to tackle thing on. Connector and everything at this end. That becoming a total shitstorm. We have also much kind of awkward. I had planned on running like projections of 1 by 3 by 3 frames, but it doesn't really fit unless I tip the arm up. But we can do. Oh, this is gonna be a trick and a half, isn't it? I need to be able to put a block that's got center placement on it in here. Because it needs to be down. There's an adapter on that side that I want to get the top part of it on there, but I can't. And I can't attach it to the subgrid unless we do one more on that. Then that just looks like part of the arm. We'll just adjust the grid to be able to. Yeah, you're too close to the wheel. Big deal. Just the arms a little bit shorter. So let's say we do a 1.3. Wow, I didn't even move that one. That's why it's. Turn that one off, please. Reverse. Which we got. I mean, it's nice to have that one there if I need it, but. And that's kind of out there. Wow. Made this arm a lot longer than I needed to. Alright, 2 and 3. Reverse. And we're going to put you out to 1. I'm going to build the head on this. And the connector as well. Why are you wobbling? No, 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 no. No, no wobble. Don't need to wobble. There's no need to go bouncing around. There's no hideous things on this planet about to consume you. Let's not invite Clang along. We've already enjoyed him tonight. He got to have his moment in the spotlight. Construction. Am I out of those down? Alright, yeah, I did grab the last of those. Alright. Get him up. $33.6 cobalt. It'll be fine. Everything's gonna work perfectly fine. You guys will see it'll all pan out. Small steel tubes. Probably stick some gyros on. Maybe a gyro for some control authority. And then shear inertia tensor will probably help. In that case, ironically. We also need small steel tubes. I got plenty of those hanging around all over the place here. Yeah, let's get that shear inertia tensor on now. Because that's starting to make me very nervous. Okay, that's worse. Attachment base large 2. There we go. This guy was starting to clang out is what was causing all that. So now that we got that, because this is effectively a locked rotor anyways. I'm a little worried it's not piping up, though. It's supposed to pass cargo through that connection. And that's green, so we know we've got a connection between that and that. Didn't miss a trick. The bottom and top do have cargo pass-through capability. It's annoying because I also can't exactly take out the block underneath that. Let alone reach it. It is built. It is in the right direction. So this, after all of this, this may not work. All right. First arm 1 and 2. Okay, good clearance. We're not clanging into the wheel. Does genuinely not need a lot. No, I said 1.05. Yeah, there we go. Grid isn't in a position to lock. Let's do that lock from here. He said knowingly that he was going to have problems getting in and out of it. Also, because I want to have those connectors on the hot bar too. Switch lock, switch lock. Your lock is number 6. And what do you know? No clang, no fuss, no muss. Probably can't unload because something is... Ah! Aha! There's the break in the chain. I forgot I built this expecting a different setup that I put in place. Not the final one that I did. That would certainly help. Straight vector. There we go. Lit up green. Still no fuss, still no muss. Store. Alright, I need to figure out where I'm going to stick a O2/H2 setup in here temporarily at least. So we can start stockpiling some of this at least. Borrow that. Oh, you just want all the parts, don't you? Well, apparently close enough that one of the Bobs has decided to help out, so that's good. So I gotta figure out where to put the O2 generator. I don't think I stuck one... Yeah, because I'm pulling in the O2 directly out of the air on this. That's why I want to have just a hydrogen tank on this. I'm not messing with an O2 generator just yet. Or haven't. Really wish there was... Actually, I don't know if I really wish there was. I would like to kind of see what the game would be like if there were a need for separate O2/H2 generators. I kind of feel like you're a little disadvantaged when you have to use, when you're using this, and all you have to do is have someone sitting on the grid, just doing little other than sitting in something that's piped up, in like a cockpit and whatnot, and it's just going to continue to otherwise consume ice to keep them breathing every now and then. Versus maybe I need all of that going into the engines. I'd like to have the ability to pick and choose without having to do stockpiles on stockpile modes and messing around with turning stuff on and off. And it'd just be nice if you could just say, okay, I want to have a separate H2 generator, and I will pair that up with my hydrogen engine if I want to, so I have a really nice, efficient power source for that, or a conversion source for the fuel, versus I want a survival pod that has just an O2 generator on it and not an H2, because I'm worried about breathing and not necessarily being able to jump around like a mad rabbit. Do a little bit of cleanup on the outside here. Also notice that the block previews aren't updating properly too, where they are not actually updating the texture until you either change the shape or look at something else. Yeah, tiny little bug. That'll do for that. I could put anything over it because that's an easy distraction. For a second there, I thought I saw this starting to glitch out, but no, it looks like that's holding up. What are we doing on our consumables on board? Yeesh. A large cargo container. You're plenty of room. All right. Yep. Unload. Don't need to keep all this on the rover. Oh, you can see that visibly going up in the background as I'm offloading. There we go. Don't need to waste power on whatchamacallit. Base powering this and vice versa. Seat. Aha. Find. There. Unlock. Alright, so you're ready to lock. Right, so I actually need two things. Toggle block on and offs. Okay, unlock and off. Now I'm not going to have any phantom forces trying to pull these two to each other, and we can find the button. Could also technically put a bob on the end of that arm too. That way I have a bit of a repair facility out here, but I need everything else up and running first. That, and I don't have that many bobs left. I need to salvage the three I've got there and figure out what I'm doing with them. Alright, so you are going to be a... can we name that rotor, please? Because that's making me awful nervous. Off of... It won't be off of that grid. It'll be off of... As soon as I put down another control panel. Is the dock arm. I think we're going to want to limit... No, we're good enough on that. As far as rotation goes, yeah, it'll rotate through to 90 in this direction when I fire it up. So we shouldn't see any strangeness. Gather up the pistons. Name this one Do Not Use. Knock pistons. Did you even save that? Okay, I did. So we're gonna have a group burst on that. As far back as we can take it. Good. We're gonna have group rotor. Burst. May not have a gantry built in KSE, but dang it, I'm going to have a decent dock setup on this. And that's not much higher than the wind turbines, so it's lower than them. 130 should stop right about now. Perfect. Nice back and out of the way, and honestly, if I had an atmospheric ship that I needed to offload, it's double duty. Or I can have it point straight up and drop something on it. If I had a little drone that I wanted to hook up off the top of that, I could. So that is working lovely. Alright, let's talk lighting while I'm thinking about this. If I just find out how bad it is out here. Spotlights off. Spotlight. Yeah, that's reasonably dark. Kind of thinking I want to do... I haven't detailed out the ceiling up here. It really does need a good bit of attention, honestly. Bolted, because I know it's not going to matter. Do we have... thing I'm thinking of? Nope, we don't have that blueprint available either, but we have one that might work just as well. Just as it says floor on it, doesn't mean it has to be the floor. I know it's not going to take the texture, but I'll try it. Because what I'd like to do is grab that super spotlight. Really? You're not a... You're a... Ah, nuts. I think it was going to... Should have realized that's not quite the way I think the doors work. And... one there, and one there. Holy crap. Why did you make that a metallic texture? I mean, it's certainly interesting, but... wow. Alright. There you go. So now when we've got the doors open, we've actually got a decent amount of light coming out here. I mean, even out to there. We're in pretty good shape for that. So then I just need interior lighting. Might replace those floor blocks though. I'm not 100% sold on that. It feels like it might need the darker texture one. Or darker color to them, even though it's not really affecting the floor color. And we've got... the other thing I could do would be something akin to that at the edges here. And that might give me enough light going into the hangar area. Maybe, possibly. Oh, that's right. No, these are the nice ones. These are the ones that are canted at 45 degrees for the spotlights. I forgot about that. That's actually not bad. That gives me a nice little bit of detail lighting in there. And then what you do is further back in here. Do it at back end. Let's see if I grab some tubes. I am liking this. We'll give it a little bit of flare around the middle where the light's going to be weaker. That light's off. It's so nice to have a brand new world and know that you can get away with using the spotlights just because they won't clang things out. The game won't just absolutely steadfastly refuse to work with them. And then we have, let's see, that's the... And the neat thing is it's also different angles on that too. I forgot about that. So you've got the 45 and that's the 30... 26.5/30 in the part name that they're using there. I would love... necessarily use the spotlight here. I can really place much of anything else though. Oh, he will let me do that. Perfect. As soon as I get my welder back out. Okay, there we go. That means actually, it means I can fill up on hydrogen tanks off the base now here too. Sweet. When I go downstairs, I'll be able to refill my hydrogen supply. Light on the interior. Radius full. Fall off should be 3. And it's middle of the bay, decent lighting. Doesn't need to be intrusive, just light the general area. Bada bing. Bada boom. I'll figure out something else to do with the ceiling. I'm definitely... the tiles kind of work for me, but the texture's not quite right. I don't think the other floor... That one might work a bit better. I'll give it a shot, see what we get. I'm willing to experiment a little bit. My two bubs leap into action, doing what little they can do. Uh-oh. We're out of steel plate again. Yeah, going on that. Yeah, I kind of like it. When you're doing a ceiling, you've got 2 ways you can do the ceiling. You can use the ceiling with a light color to try to reflect more ambient light into an area. Basically, or at least make it look like you're doing it. So from the outside, this doesn't look too bad at that entryway. Once you're in it, it's a little on the weird side. And at that point, I kind of do prefer this texture. Because now you're taking it away, you're making the room look a bit bigger versus sharply defining the ceiling on the inside. At any rate, that's not bad. I'll kind of leave that one up to next week, because there's also the question of bringing back... see if I can get some sort of like ceiling supports in there or something. Feels like it needs a little more than what I've got, but we're in pretty good shape there for lighting now. So none of the rovers are doing any lighting. It's all internal. Let's take a look at what this looks like from afar. Do I see something? I swear I saw like parts. Maybe it was that edge of the whatchamacallit. Head outside, please. Take a look at this thing properly from outside. Oh, that's perfect. All with the 3 rovers out there, so we have plenty of things to drive in case we blow anything up by accident. Hang on, let me get need to be in a slightly better position. No, let's not have your suit lights on. Yes, shadows. Have them stand in the shadows. Perfect. Just the framing. Yeah, space looks good now. Got ourselves a nice, solidly decorated operational base that is now fully stocked with everything I need for my basic survival. Don't have to worry about running out of air. I've got hydrogen. I've got a wonky elevator that just wants to blow itself to smithereens. Gotta get the sound block in here, though. And I still want to try to get the sensors working. In fact, let's see. That is... Yeah, we're in O2 because I did shut that. I want it to be a case that I come down here, that door closes for sure when this one opens. So that way I'm not blowing through tons of atmosphere. Thank you for finally turning on the spotlight, the whatchamacallit there. Sensor, I swear. Why are you saying unable to place? I need interior plate. Do I have interior plate on me? Yes. So I have the base component that is required to build this block. There's nothing in this grid to stop it. What? Okay, guys, here's the pop quiz moment. WTF? This grid, it's not an occupied area, but it's acting like it. Okay, well, that's because I don't have steel plate. I could just switch over to... Yeah, like if I switch over to something I have parts to build, like a armored conveyor, interior plates, which is exactly the same thing that the sensor needs to be built. Wow, Keen, what did you do? I've been having problems with sensors the last few weeks. Trying to test them out and get them to work right for working with this elevator. As in all reality, the best spot for it would be right here on this wall. But it's acting very weird. Let's send the elevator back up. I don't want to put it on the subgrid. I can't put it there because of the button panel there. You are letting me place that there, though, so that's a start. Okay, so you do have the spares. Okay. You are not activating. Alright, so what I need is subgrid detection on. So I call the elevator down. What we should see is that trigger for sure. Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, that sensor triggered all right. No, it didn't. So I think this is still broken. This is exactly the same thing it was doing for me the other day. Because even detect players is on. And it's not like the extents on this are not far out enough. I'm right next to this thing and I'm not triggering it. Tell you what, let's set up actions anyways. But I need to find the door down here. Give it a proper name. So the sliding door. Better lower. We're going to set up actions. So when that sensor goes, you are going to elevator door lower will open, top will close. Hello, sensor. Hey, what? Come here. Let's treat this like it would be. And I know this thing can actually get past the sensor without exploding. Okay, so elevator door is at the bottom, and like I have done more than a few times already, I could have simply forgotten to close the door up top. Let me use this as our test. So I'm really more worried about the bottom, the sensor triggering and opening the bottom one. Well, closing the top one really is a top priority, but... I did not hear that trigger. Hang on, let me turn the game up here. Turn the game up and stop the music temporarily so I can hear it. Where is... Okay, it is going off. Okay. All right, so what's happened is I was not aware that they changed the colors on that thing too. Used to be when you were triggering a sensor, you would see a green light on it. Now they've just made it so, oh, well, yeah, it's just a power status light. I really would like to see them get this trigger back in play. So you can tell when you have triggered the sensor, because that is very handy, Keen. I need to tighten up the sensor range. Oh, good lord, right? You're going to be a real pain about that, aren't you? Especially at this time of night. I don't think the show area renders very well either. That's that. The sensor facing... Music back on for you guys. Tech neutral, enemy, don't care. Do not tech neutral. Friendly only, because I might as well make it that way. Owner. Yada yada. Proximity alert, because that's on so you can hear it. The front extent should be fine. The back extent should be nothing. Keen. Set shift to 2. Bottom extent doesn't need to be a very wide trigger area. We'll leave the left and rights to 5. Note that I still cannot see the visible sensor area. Try it out. It's a shame. I mean, it was really easy to tell when you had your sensors set up right with the old way. That would have changed a while ago, too, when they did all the... Oh, let's retool all the colors in the game thing. Didn't hear you trigger that time. And here's the other problem, is this will always keep the top door closed and always keep opening the bottom door. It's like the one at the top of the shaft, which is going to be a challenge to place that one right now. Can we... Could always offset it somewhere, too. Just a pain to do that. Alright, take me back up. I can always set the trigger point for that one underneath where the platform is up at the top here. So you end up here. Which means that I would have to put it down there. Can I see enough of it to get it in there? Yes, I can. That. Perfect. Except you're out of detector components. Do I have an interface I can get to here? Cue them up. More detectors. A couple extra might as well, right? Okay, no, you're not facing the right way. Well, top, bottom, doesn't really matter. The right extent would be the same. It's the back and forward that I only really care about. Keep me from accidentally triggering out the wrong direction. Detect players on friendly neutral end. Barely see the outline on these flippin' toggles now. I don't know why Keen makes it so it's this big, massive, visible control here. Why it's not just a simple, like, /. Enable thing. Because they could tighten up the interface so much on these screens if it was something like an on-off. And even these are kind of like... I mean, the drag sliders, I understand why they need to be that big, but just like a simple toggle doesn't need that much space, really. Right, justify it next to the control. Would work just as well. All right, so sensor action. Nope, not that. That one. You are also upper. So on the upper stage, we want. Oh, this is going to be complicated and tricky, isn't it? If it on a block on the top as a small grid, it certainly would, but the problem is then every time I'd get on the elevator, it'd be triggering something. I need it to... It's going to be very specific to set up. Because when I get to the top, I would ideally like to have it open the door for me, but when I leave the top, I want to have it shut the door for me. Oh dear God, I'm getting back into Minecraft Redstone days here. I need a T flip-flop circuit. I need something that's going to maintain a state that can be triggered from both ends. So when you come in from the top and pass the sensor, it triggers something storing a value that tells the bottom, hey, this person entered from the top. It needs to be in a state that will handle this properly. Darn it. Okay, it's a nice idea, but for the time being, I'm definitely going to have to play around with that one off camera to get that to work. Because holy crap, that's going to be... I'm trying to even think of how you would do that. I mean, you'd have to... There's no relays that I can think of. I mean, you can use a programming block. I guess you could use a script to set custom data in the block to do it, but that's a hideously wonky way to do something that you want to just be able to turn on off basically and have it with a state that somehow stays at both ends. Because it's got to know, it's like it's got to have a, or in the case of the sensors here, it's got to know a direction almost. Like I'd have to pass between two sensors, and the direction in which the order in which they're triggered would tell it what action it would need to do. That's kind of what another way we could do it. So if the sensors, they were in the middle, and if sensor 2 triggers before sensor 1, then it knows it needs to close the top door, open the bottom, and if it's sensor 1 that triggers before sensor 2, someone's coming out, and it would have to close the bottom, trigger the top. At any rate, it's not like that's not easily manually done. I have to hope I'm at a point where I'm not that lazy where I can't open and close a door, right? Alright, let's get some stuff offloaded here. Oh no, I'm out of O2. Whatever shall I do? Oh, that feels so much better now. I don't have to worry about necessarily depending on the atmosphere pumping functions. We have down here from last time our tiny little R710 rover and a mounted up Bob so that we can start doing some general excavation. Now, Bob's going to be tricky. I haven't quite worked out what to do with him in regards to what he's going to drop. And I guess the only thing I can do is just rig up ejector ports on him. Because I do want to hang on. I really do want to hang on to all of the stone and everything. And gotten rid of everything I needed to build. It's not a great idea. And again, I have Bob helping me out down here. So that's what we'll do. We'll do I think a port in front and back should keep up. Didn't know you could place ejector ports that way. Interesting. Now I know. Knowing is half the battle. The other half is waiting around for Bob to come down and weld it for me. Because this one won't do it. He doesn't have parts. Have him eject. And then the Bob picks it up and runs with it. I'm think it's what I'm really thinking about is getting these side hallways started. It's like I said, I'm going to need to definitely hollow out a decent sized area to start building a ship. So no time like the present, really. Looks like you're not going to... Well done here. Where's my bob range? I thought we had you all figured out down here. Bobs, please show us the error of my ways. Ha! You are way too far up. And also, yeah, I still have the one set out in the yard, so it's the other one I need to worry about specifically. Find me the one that has been given all of the magic powers of range adjustment. Critical offset. That sounds appropriate. Nope, that's the one out front. Huh. Critical. Have negative 15. Let's go a little further than that. Let's go negative 25. I see some blocks that are not welded up underneath. Now we are in the bob. Yeah, that doesn't sound right, but, you know, that's what's going on here. Alright. So you should be busy helping me out there. Perfect. Probably want to get the drone out of the way. Let's get R7 moved. 710. Remote control, if you don't mind. Review. Are no longer locked. Press power, and let's be hitting that bob that's over there. Why am I tipping? Nothing in the way on those. Every time I try to move over to the right, the whole grid is tipping. Ah, that would be why, because I am hitting the bob over there. Alright, come here. In. And... block. Alright. So we got him out of the way. Get on a block. Top as a small grid. I mean, realistically, if I really wanted to make sure this would keep up, I could just run it as a whole conveyor tube and just drop out behind it. But I don't want to. I'm trying to be aware of the fact that this is going to drop a lot of stone when I start working on this. Let's see. Actually, you know what? Especially considering I am going to need the spectator camera here. Let's just pop into that real quick and spec it up. Why are you still showing your range? No, 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 no. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. Not show your area. That's dirty. Alright. Drill. What? Because I am getting tired of not managing to find him when I need him. He's getting that. Show the control area. No, not control area. The show area. Oh, yes, that definitely needs to be reset. Talking passages. Don't really need much of anything too wide. We should really kind of cover it. And this needs to be better positioned for that. Alright. Bill. Billy boy. I need you to... Okay. Slider on this is so amazingly sensitive. It's a bit of a struggle. That's not... You're facing the wrong way down, aren't you? You're tipped. Darn it. Yep. That was why I was so worried about the position of the up sticker on the rover there. Okay, so you extend not quite far enough. That would be because of the rotor that he's attached to. Need to draw in. If it's what, 11 centimeters? That help me? No. Ever so off on that wall. Should be properly set. Why did the mod maker make the offset so big? I'm not complaining he made it so big because you can keep one of these around and you're not gonna run out of roads, so to speak. I mean, you could set up a whole mining operation very easily from one spot. Does that look on my targeting? I'd have to update. Make the width and height a little more. So at 3.5 and 3.5. Have room to safely place stuff, right? Now we can adjust it forward. I'm gonna try to go out a bit here. It's gonna be the main hall out to what's gonna lead to our underground build area. Possibly to another elevator at the rate we're going. Let's see. You need to be further forward. Probably not that far forward, I imagine. Oh, no, actually, that's almost perfect. Bill, let's back you up a little bit. Well, perfect. All right. Let's hope the heck this works. Well, also why I'm doing a small area. Throw out on... Hey, am I forgetting? I'm forgetting sorters, aren't I? Well, no, actually that's okay because the ejectors count as inventory. Bill's going to start eventually kicking to it once he's full, so that'll work. It'll still be fine. It just means I'll have to manually empty the drill when I'm done. Plus, he's going to drill through it pretty quickly to begin with. Perfectly straight. Oh! No, 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 no. No, no, no. No, 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 no. What the flip? Oh, I know what happened. I know what happened. It's because the ejectors got stone behind it and they hit it at just the right angle to kick the subgrid off. Because, you know, rocks. To the point where it somehow even has damaged. Wow. Okay. Bob? Help me out on that one. Doesn't seem to want to help out because he's too busy picking up rocks. Oh, that would be why it's tipped, because of that. Yeah, so we would have to definitely starters. Take that out of the way. That out of the way. And let's move that elsewhere, shall we? As soon as I have the parts that need to make it. That's the problem when you get complacent and start trusting in what Bill and Bob can do. Find ways to surprise you. Alright, he's going to fix the rotor first. We're not going to eject out the back, because that certainly caused problems. And let's fix our rotor. Angle 175. Can I have a rotor lower limit of 170? And upper limit of 180. And if you don't mind... That's definitely not fixed. Why would we show you the angle of the thing currently? Oh? Actually, he did get emptied out too. WTF? I am the confuzzled on that one. Rotor should be kicking back in. Alright, we may invite Clang on ourselves. If we do, that means this thing can be recovered. 75. Alright, let's try to walk it. 76. Nothing. You're not on lock. You're not inertial tensored. Let's get rid of the rotor displacement. Whoa. Yeah, that was definitely causing it. Default on 2. Yeah, trench for all the rock. Well, what I really need to do is do what I did upstairs originally on the base and set up a collector underneath it. That would make a bit more sense. Alright, rotor lock it, inertia tensor it, cut velocity to 0. You should be good to go again. I was about ready to put down a button, then I realized I wouldn't have been able to get to a button on Bill after what happened last time. Not that serious of a failure, at least, so... I'm just punching myself in the face with rock, apparently. Okay, so we got a little... You know, a little divot here and there. It's not the end of the world. It's almost done anyways. One perfectly dug out tunnel. Or Bill. Please stop. You don't... I don't want you gathering. I don't need you gathering anything, please. No, no, no. No, no, no. Off. Off. Please stop, Bob. I want the... Or not Bob, Bill. Bob, you can gather. Bill, I don't want you. Let's see if we can... Also get rid of that rock that I picked up. Are you still showing on? You have nothing left to drill. You're just on for the heck of it. Or maybe that's... I don't know. That's the way they're indicating that its job is done now. Alright. Depressurization. Really? You took more damage out of that? Pressurize the area. You know, voxels. Why would we not make the airtight anyways? Fill the dirt back in after. It could, yeah. The fill mode's a little, well, it'd be a little tricky to try to do it because I'd have to angle Bob down or angle Bill down and then push it out for even further to deal with it. Let's see. There's our nice little area. Something fancy for this tunnel. We got fancy to work with. And not much. In fact, really not much. I do not have much in the way of decorative blocks at all at the moment. I mean, sure, the catwalk, but the catwalk is going to leak air, so I'd have to dig even deeper under it. So, let's... No, not heavy armor. No. Not the heavy armor version, please. No, I don't want to be out gathering cobalt for all eternity. Give me the light version. I might have some options to work with here. Maybe make it slightly bigger. If we do a slightly bigger cut, then it's going to work better. About to 5 meters and 5 meters. This will also have the added benefit of easing the whatchamacallit, the stake down there. Precision building with Bill. No longer am I subject to the whims of the game deciding which voxels I actually removed. Okay, yeah, so that needs to be slightly bigger, I think. Let's take you out to 6. I hope you guys aren't getting a weird stutter. Well, I have dropped to 98 frames, so I'm not seeing anything drop currently, but let's hope that's not on YouTube's end. Let's turn down the volume on that while I'm in there. Area width 6. I don't think it should really be the Bill being in use that's causing any issues. I'm not seeing anything evil nasty there. The mine only setting when I tried to use that earlier was problematic. It still actually does just drop the blocks, which is unfortunate. Or drops the stones, so you have to wait for it to despawn. But because I've got the world setting set high to be able to handle bulk mining projects like this, it doesn't work quite so well. Not only that, but I don't mind actually mining up all this stone, to be honest with you guys, because it's extra resources. This is mining up massive quantities of stone right now because of the changes that Keen made to the game actually are more beneficial than going out and mining 4 different ore types. I've got tons of silicon. I don't need it, but I've got tons of it, so I don't have to mine silicon. I don't have to mine iron. All the trace elements that I'm getting, I don't actively need to mine, and I haven't actually gone out and even mined a actual bit of iron at all since I've landed on the planet because of it. So I don't mind letting Bill gather stuff up and leave it out here and have a mess of a system, you know, that's picking stuff up, occupying a bob and everything, because I'm getting stuff out of it. All right, so we do that, then the idea I had doesn't quite work for that block. The rest of them it does. Let's also bring in corner piece and switch over to do a red themed battered armor down this way. just realized what just crossed my mind about all of this is I feel like I'm starting off the building the Voltron tunnels in the original animated series. Let's be honest, it's not gonna probably be far off. You know, the ones that they did the whole stock footage reuse, aka the transformation scene, basically. Let's do 8. Around. It's so nice to have the missing armor blocks I need. Okay, so what I'd like to do, I think we can do this. 5, switch over to black clean armor. Actually, what does black battered look like? Does it look good enough for what I have in mind? Might. The other downside is what I really need in here would be, I need a half block with lighting baked into it, basically. Because what you really need for something like this, if you're going to do a catwalk going down a room like so, is lighting underneath everything. Do that. Let's actually... Yeah, let's go with carbon fiber for that. Since I'm not going to have lighting. No lighting, no rails, just walk through the room. Pull back a little bit of the same sort of thing I did on the airlock on the moon base. I need something... I need like a window that I could fit mid-length on that. I don't think we really have anything that will work. A chills floor type, but I think that one would... I know the angle blocks I have probably are not airtight. Yeah, alright. We'll just go stock half block. But change that over to a lighter color. That armor. I'm breaking the cardinal design rule of Merrick. I'm involving multiple colors beyond 2 in a build. Why Bob is having so much of a problem down here? I'm getting him started and he's able to finish stuff. Can't have the only steel plates out there, right? Couldn't have gone through that much. Holy crap, I have. That's what I should do for measuring the sim time, or not sim time, the stream time, is instead of measuring it in the standpoint of hours, I should measure it in the amount of steel plates that I've gone through. Go borrow and beg and steal a little bit off of him. And what I might do is come down here and see if I can... That's not alpine. Back under here and see... Swap these out. Be really careful with doing painting around some of these blocks. They don't quite paint properly, depending on how you manage to hit them. That's why I was willing to actually grind to get rid of some of that. Oh, come on. There you go. All right. Black, red, gray. Let's get that color kicked in. Yes, I know those are not proper textures, unfortunately. This is the fixed version of the mod, unfortunately, and it definitely is still kind of on the wonkiness. Actually, I can get rid of... These aren't the right ones I need, amusingly enough. I think I would have noticed that after I put in that stuff. Bob? Bob, 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 stop. I command you. Stop. This is a connected grid. Turn down grind neutrals. I had that off, but apparently not. Okay, so something like that. Fix the catwalk to get that in there again. Need to figure out how to get lighting on the top here. There needs to be lighting. I need dramatic lighting in this place, and I can't do it with the half blocks. Looks like Umbrella Corporation hallway now, yeah. It does have a look to it. Let's take Bill here too. Push him down a bit further. So I'm gonna need room for a door on the other side. So you need board offset to 15, please. And go ahead and toggle on. So go back to carbon fiber. That's why he did, because it's the keen. Keep decompressing and recompressing this area and wasting ice if I try to do this. That's why I want to come down here and get a airlock door in. Yeah, I guess Bob's not reaching out here at the moment. Switch to default, battered, and door. Should let me get away with building the catwalk now. The fact I don't have any things I need. And also, Bill, really? Tell you what. Let's get a button here. We need something to turn him on and off with. Toggle block on off. There we go. Now I can control him. Should no longer be the wild child that he is. That. And now it's anchored on construction components that I don't have. That's what's anchored on, construction components. Well, the problem with putting lights in the ceiling is the same problem. Everything in here is a half block. I mean, I like having the whole juxtaposed. Paint these properly. The whole half blocks are really great for making an area appear just slightly bigger than it really is. But there is definitely, I don't know, carbon fiber. It's gonna have, gives it a sharper metal look to it. It works. It's like a full area, but it's not a full area. And if you're in, you know, multiplayer, you've got enough room to kind of work around this. That's the problem, is how to anchor it. Everything in here is a half block. don't really have a mod that can do anything with that either. Certainly one that's not one that's gonna... hang on. Hang on. I thought I had a mod that actually gives me embedded embeds the spotlight into the armor block. I thought I had something to that extent, but I don't see it on the list, oddly enough. I mean, here's the other thing is, yes, I could always just very simply put a full block down in the middle of the room here, and it would work, but what happens is now it destroys the whole effect of the room. So now you've got a light that's going to be in your face here, unfortunately. And you've got to come up with the hard decision of, do you transition to that block, or do you just go flat in like this on both sides? It kind of throws it a little bit. Let's go with a darker gray here. That works a bit more. Plays up to the grunge effect of it a bit more. I mean, the only one that would really work in this space right now for how it's set up would be... Because I can't... Actually, no, I can't even put a light on that because the catwalks are upside down to support this. Because they're half blocks underneath it. So this approach doesn't work. But if I put... I might have to just bite the bullet and run some blocks up along the top of this. So I can get the airtight, whatchamacallit. That'll work. Sure, I have no voxels intruding on any part of... Yeah, that'll work. Actually, I like that. That works better. Okay, yeah, this will work. This will work, this will work, this will work. Give me a... Not necessarily the classic. Don't like the metal look of that. Needs to be compact. The low beam... Here, this one was an interesting one when I first saw it. It's like, oh, cool. It's like, it is a half block light, but it still needs to be placed on a proper slope. And unfortunately, I need it kind of on both sides, like a mirrored sort of look. So there is that one that I could always play with. Need classic low beam. This is one I used on the underground base hallway that I did. So this one might look pretty good. Okay, we can work with that. Find me that spotlight. This is hanger all. So I know which one it is, and that big of a radius. 20, even 10 would do. Yeah, because it doesn't have to light a big area. So that's looking good. This is why you keep a transparent UI in your setup. Tweak that lighting ever so much. Not a lot, but just a tinge of yellow on it. Actually, no, it would look better with the opposite lighting spectrum, so give it a bit more LCD light. Natural light and incandescence being yellow, LCD fluorescent more bluish. Kick the intensity back down to... It needs to be higher than that. 1. Yeah, I can justify a 1 on that. And then offset is none. No emissives. Okay, suitably spooky, maybe a bit more on the intensity. See what happens if we go up to Solid 2. It needs something more in that tight space. The radius is also screwing around with it too. So yeah, like the lighting effect is a bit too contained. Even the fog sort of effect on it is wrong. There we go. Now I'm kind of getting what I want. Just don't like the sharp definition on that though. That's throwing me a little bit. Doing spinny light. I'd have to have a solid surface I could actually put it on, and that's the only one I could do it in. So most of the effect of the spinning light would be lost. You could see on the small grids I was working with that it doesn't really take the light up and down that much. Maybe what can I do to give it a hand? Drop the intensity. Okay, that's better. Just a little bit of light, just kind of a light smoke in the air effect. Yeah, alright, let's do one other thing. I'm going to color code the door. Case in point about having to be careful where you click with these stupid catwalks. I'd like to pick the stupid places to do things. Back to you, to that color. Back over here. Very picky. Like, you don't even point at the block. It's like, aha, I know you want to touch this one. No, I was actually pointing at the block under you. Well, no, I wouldn't want to touch that one. No, I wasn't pointing at that one. I was pointing at the one underneath. Okay. Light. That's good. I would still like to have lighting running in here somehow. Maybe not lighting, though. So here's the problem. The real fix for this would be to kick over to interior wall sections along the edges, but the problem is Keen broke the emissives on the interior wall and still haven't fixed it. So what you get is a very dead-looking block. And I'll mock it up for you guys. We'll shut that so I don't blow out the atmosphere here again. Seriously, you are now making me grind that from outside of the... Okay. Silly people. As soon as that finishes building, we'll see it. If it finishes building. Oops. There you go. Well, maybe they did fix it. Alright, let's give it a test here. The check. Let's just try... Yeah, see how this is not... It's when you're using a dark color on it, the emissives is just... It's not showing up at all. There's just nothing there. I mean, if I were to turn off... Normally what you would see if I turn off the spotlight in here... is you would definitely be seeing something coming out of that. And there's nothing. It's muted. It's not a problem. It's a neat thing that you can do with it, but interior blocks have no emissive control. So your SOL, unless you decide to swap over to something lighter, probably the default block will work just fine. No, that's still meh. And now compare to that. Let's say I wanted to borrow a pillar for this. Because I could do that. Cross floor. It's not the one I'm really looking for, but it would work. Oh, interior plate. Fine. Bob, you can finish that for me again? And I stole my tool again. Darn it. Okay, so comparison. This is a block with functioning emissives. Very funky working emissives. I like that effect. That is cool. That's the wall. That is going in this wall. Absolutely. 100% now. That particular cross floor. Bob, I need you to build out the walls a bit thicker here. Or Bill. So I keep getting Bill and Bob mixed up. The Wonder Twin powers of Bill and Bob. Let's make you wider by area width. Let's go 8. Might as well. And smack them on. Smack you on, right? On? Fix that 4 now too. Again. I dare to paint in a specific, right? You know, paint. You somehow that got ground down. At what point did it look like I was pointing down to this key? Yeesh. Alright, so this is going to widen back so I'll be able to use the pillars back here. I'm going to have it just wide enough, again, to anchor for the airtightness. I hope pillars are airtight. Bill and Bob's Excellent Adventure. There you go, yeah. Precisely. No, let me at the port. I need to tweak his width a little bit. He's doing a good job, but I need it slightly wider because of the offset. And width 8.5, please. Because I can't, if I can't get my head back in here, it's going to be very questionable about whether it'll actually seal the voxels properly. Alright, so you are pillar. Actually, no, you're 0.5. That was cross floor. And I'll grab the other cross floor to go with it. So, what we've got is an effect. One exploded. Well, it's a good thing he's without power right now. Okay. That makes absolutely no sense. Okay. Mm-hmm. The rotor head part is on it still. I don't know. Keen giveth and Keen taketh away, and unfortunately, I suspect I'm about to find out this rock wall is not far enough out. I finish that, or I must be out of metal grids now too. Eee. All right. Regardless, I think he got the. No, I didn't. How did he not? Alright, I guess I'm gonna have to do this one by hand and get some of these divots out. I think that'll be enough. Place the block. Block has been placed. Because you know you can't stop the block. Can't stop the block. Can't stop the block. Can't stop the block. Clang can, but you can't. All right, so I'm gonna need a bunch of grids to finish those off. Even that's kind of a neat effect. Let's turn the spotlight back on. I mean, it looks neater with that, and I feel like I would need, ironically now I can fit proper accent lighting on these walls because they're flushed out more. But, yeah. I like this effect. Let's get some more grids going. Bob, not Bob, Bill, whatever. Whoever's in charge of production right now. Let's get that going. More grids. You require more grids, my lord. Let's see what this is gonna look like. So my question is, did I get the rotation right on that? Oh, I see grids interfering there. Or, stuff interfering. No. Get that. Let's see. I'm gonna pull you back a little bit more. So much for precision mining. At least he didn't blow up the, hill while that happened. That'd be more annoying. Come on. Drill it back a bit more, would you? Alright, you won't. Okay, we'll make do with what we got there. So, like, right now, that side is... Oh, that is a neat effect. So you're standing out here, and you're going to walk down this corridor, and as you go by... Oh, you don't see it unless you're really kind of looking at it. Alright. That's still pretty good looking. I'm happy with that look. Let's get that going over here now. Block 9. Block 8. The ironic thing is I can't actually put accent lighting on this anymore. Because that offset right here, that's the middle of the run. And I suppose I could try putting an interior light in here? But it probably just would look awkward from this angle. Yeah, because I can see it's gonna trail back a little in there. And putting a corner light's not gonna work that great. Alright, we'll try it though. Actually build some of this up, please. I know you're busy, Bob. Okay. So that kind of complements the spotlight a bit. So what we can do... Let me actually get to a pad. Like 2 and 3. Give you a fall off of 3. Intensity of 0.5. Radius. Let's see what we got right now. That's actually pretty good. That complements the spotlight there. So now it kind of looks like I've got an additional... We've got that additional source of light as we go through here. Light strips. If I had those, that would also be a potential. I could kind of see the circular little doodads on that working. I mean, I could also put light sources here, but I kind of like this. This feels, when you're walking through this spotlight's effect, since you don't see the spotlight unless you're really looking for it. If you're just walking through here like that, you aren't really feeling it, but you feel like you're walking through the brightness of those two lights. And the different lighting color that I've got on it is working out well there too. I'd love to do to have more control over this lighting. Don't think we do. Yeah. Yeah, and it's... Maybe I just need to find a different door, too. I mean, I don't have a lot of... Basically, I don't have anything available. Just have plain old vanilla at this point right now, but... I'm still happy with how this looks. That's working out. I don't know how we're gonna work with this. I've got to have it connected up to a grid that's got power. I don't want to put it on a small grid because this thing would have been absolutely trashed if it started getting surrounded by rocks. And because all I have left to work with are small grid bobs, I can't put a large grid bob in because of the rules of the scenario that I'm running. So I can't just say, oh, well, I'll just put a fixed bob on the grid. Nope, 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 can't do that. It'll look like maybe the power line's going in the next section with the lights added in a junction. Yeah, exactly. I mean, this is the happy little accidents in Keen and Space Engineers that I like. When you do something weird and you find a neat little effect that it gives. I mean, this is even right because look at, you would think that I'm not in an airtight area right now, considering I can see rock behind that, but I don't mind that. I don't mind it because I can't really even see it, and everything's anchored on the bottom, so both sides look the same. It's got a nice used look to it, whereas, I mean, right in here, I'm still very much clean armor and everything, figuring out the details and whatnot, but this is nice. This is happiness here. Yep. Okay. That, ironically, is, now that I've got this little bit of happiness going on, is where we're going to be ending the episode for today. Programming note for next week. There will be no relaxing survival, or if anything, there may be something, a little short, quick thing I'm going to be posting. Not exactly relaxing survival, but something within the universe, shall we say. Next week is Wasted's charity stream for Cancer UK. He's doing that with Mac and a whole bunch of other people, and I'm going to definitely be hopefully dropping by to help him out a little bit because it is definitely a worthy cause. So stay tuned to his channel and the Armco Discord for more information on that when that comes down. So yep, relaxing survival will the week after. We may not have an episode. My travel plans are still kind of up in the air. That's obviously also Black Friday too, so there may be a stream. It may be much later than usual. It may be on time. We will play that one definitely by ear. So for that one, if you haven't stopped by the Salt Mine Discord, link down at the bottom of the description, definitely do that because I do announce all the streams over there, or if I have anything that is going to come up with scheduling, I will usually try to announce that in advance. Also, give me a buzz on what you guys think the next blueprints that I should be able to recover are at this point, or if you got any mods that you'd like to see me try out. Certainly, I'm willing to give them a buzz off camera and see if they'll work out. But let me know what you guys think the next recovered blueprints and mods should be. What should I be able to build next? I only really need air vent. Well, air vent in here. I don't really have a way. Definitely don't have a way to work one in at this point. Could stick a vanilla in because they would fit in the ceiling or the floor, but that'd be about it. And the floor one would be definitely noticeable. But yeah, let me know what you think in the comments, and I will catch you guys tomorrow. Kerbal Space Engineers with Wasted Spacebar. Unfortunately, no Split Z next week, or this time. We'll be back next week, and I don't know if we have a text or not. I think he's on week 4 of his rotation, week 5. I don't know, but definitely drop by. Just as a note on that, also, because of changes in YouTube's, upcoming changes in YouTube's streaming setups, they are no longer doing multiple view VODs. So my POV for uncooperative or / Purple Space Engineers is going to be over on my Twitch channel at twitch.tv/Feral1701. Same name I am here, coincidentally enough. So stopping by, if you drop by the Armco Discord, Moldark will usually drop a multi-Twitch link or multi-POV link as well, so you can get all of the views at once and see all the insanity we're getting into while I clean my spacesuit out of, which has gone brown on the interior from the landing from last week. Yikes. Anyways, thanks for watching, guys. I'm rambling on at the end of the intros, which I should stop doing. And along those lines, I'm going to stop the stream. Have a good weekend, everyone.